everyone, and welcome to my July book haul. As always, there's a lot of books. I bought quite a few books this month. I received a lot in book boxes, and I received a lot from publishers. Without a long rambling intro, which I'm probably really good at, I'm just gonna get into the book. So, as always, I'm gonna start off with the books that I bought, and like I said, I bought like 5 or 6, which may not be a lot to you. It's a lot to me because I'm very, cautious when it comes to money, and it's just I want to buy all the books, but my wallet does not allow me to because electricity, gas, mortgage. Being a grown-up, it's fun. It's really not. First book I bought this month, it's The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I bought the paperback version. I've been waiting to buy the paperback version because the hardcover is really expensive. So I was waiting for it to finally come out on paperback. I'm sure you guys have heard about this. This book has blown up this year in particular on BookTube. Everyone has read it. Everyone has loved it. I have waited to buy it, obviously, like I said, because, I wanted to wait to go on paperback. And also, I've been kind of waiting for the hype to go down a little bit because sometimes I give into hype very easily, but sometimes I'm just like, let me wait a little bit. So I've waited, and now I think it is high time for me to read it. If you haven't heard about this book, this is an adult's literary fiction book, I think. Evelyn, who is a famous film star, and she's quite older now, and she's refused to have interviews or anything like that, but then she decides to pick this magazine reporter, Moni Grant, to write her story. And basically it's about Evelyn's life and how she's had her 7 husbands and what the world kind of conceives her as and what she really is. I've heard this is an amazing book, has amazing representation, has great diversity and stuff like that. So I'm very, very excited to read it. Very scared too, because like with hype books, when you go into them, you're hoping to really enjoy them, and you're kind of afraid that you won't like it as much as everyone else does. So I will say I have started on audio, and I am liking it so far. So I'm really hoping that I'll love this as much as everyone else does. It sounds like I will, and yeah, super excited to read it. Yeah, I just need to read it soon, obviously, because everyone else and everyone has read this book but me. The next few books I bought are literally for Halloween. I am really getting into spooky books. I'm really getting excited for October. My October TBR is insanity. There are maybe 20 books I want to read in October, just solely spooky. Do I have time to read 20 books in October? No, but I keep buying them and hoping I'll read them all in October. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but one of them I bought that I really, really want to read is You by Carolyn Kepnes. This is also a pretty, I wouldn't say hyped book, but it's a popular book. This is an adult thriller novel, and it's basically about a guy that stalks this woman, and it's told in first person perspective, where you are in the eyes of the stalker. He'll say, and there you are walking out of the store and I'm following you home. And the reason why I haven't read it is just because of that, because that scares the crap out of me. But I am getting a little bit bolder with my thriller choices and, breaking my scarediness a little bit more each time. Also, it is being adapted into a Lifetime series, which sounds not that promising because of Lifetime. But Dan from Gossip Girl is starring in it, so I have high hopes for it because I like him. And I really want to read this and watch the adaptation to see how it fares. But either way, I know a ton of people love this book, and I hope I am one of them. It's probably going to scare the crap out of me. Keeping up with the thriller books, I have Scream and Scream Again by R.L. Stine. This is a middle grade short story book, and it's from Spooky Stories from Mystery Writers from America. I had to buy this because I really, really want to read this in October. This is going to be one that I prioritize because, R.L. Stine, I grew up reading Goosebumps and watching Goosebumps. I lived for that stuff when I was younger, so I really want to check this one out. This has 20 harrowing titles, and it has Beth Fantasky, Heather Graham, Doug Levine, Phil Matthews, Daniel Palmer, R.L. Stine, Carter Wilson. A lot of these authors, I'm not going to lie to you, I have never heard of, but I've heard, it's a middle grade spooky short story. I don't know how scary it could be, but I'm sure it's gonna scare me because I'm such a lame-o. But I'm really excited to check it out because it's gonna be such a spooky, fun book for Halloween that I can't wait to read it. And the last spooky book that I bought is Neverworld Wake by Marisha Pessl. Also wrote Night Film. A lot of people love that book. I still need to read it. This is a YA kind of mystery thriller from her, and this basically is about these friends that were best friends, and we follow Beatrice, and basically one of them dies, Jim, and it's Beatrice's boyfriend, and then she comes back to this seaside estate a year later, and I think they're trying to solve his murder. I don't know much about it. I don't want to know much about it. I've heard good things about it. Maybe I'm thinking if I read this is also my October TBR, but it's not like super high up there as sad as it says. As sad as that sounds, like I'm interested in it, but not like a ton. If I like this, I really want to check out Night Film because everyone loves Night Film. So yeah. Either way, another spooky book acquired. This haul is full of like spooky books. Like October's gonna be tough. The last book that I bought is the Guernsey, oh my goodness, the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society by Marianne Schaefer and Annie Barrows. If you don't know, this is actually being adapted to a Netflix film coming out on August 10th. So I am planning to read this book and watch the movie and do a full review on it. This is a historical fiction novel. It takes place during World War II, 1940. This takes place during 1946. And basically we follow a character named Juliet she's a writer, and she receives a letter from a stranger, a founding member of this potato peel pie society on this island of Guernsey, and basically I think she visits there and there's a lot of correspondence and things like that. It sounds like it's going to be a very romantic historical fiction, which I'm all about. It's very, very short. It's only, yeah, not even 300 pages. So hopefully I can fly through this. And I hope the movie is going to be good. The movie looks very, very promising. So I have high, high hopes for it. But either way, definitely planning to read this and check it out like in August. It's happening. On to book boxes. I actually got a few book boxes this month, and a lot of the books I got in them I am very, very excited for. The first one is from my Out Crate, which I start with every month, and the one I got in my Out Crate is My Plain Jane by Brody Ashton, Cynthia Hand, and Jody Meadows. I have already read this book and I adored it, so yay. This is the second book in the My Plain Jane series, or just the Jane series. The first one was called My Lady Jane, which I loved. This is kind of a companion spin-off. You don't need to read the first book in order to read this one. I would recommend it because the people, if you want to know, the people in the first book do make somewhat of a cameo. I'm not going to tell you in what capacity in this book, but this basically is a retelling of Jane Eyre, and a paranormal one. It basically follows the same story of Jane Eyre, really differently though in a way. We have Jane Eyre, she goes to work at Thornfield Hall for Mr. Rochester. Only thing is Jane can see ghosts and something is amiss at Thornfield Hall, and you know, Mr. Rochester is more broody and dark than ever before. So that's all I'm going to tell you about this book. It is just so funny. If you're looking for a good funny time in a book, this series is perfect for you. The audiobook, I listened to this book by the way, and I would highly recommend you listen to it as well. It was just such a funny book, a really loosely based version of Jane Eyre, and I adored every second of it. Like I said, it's hilarious. I loved how the authors will directly talk to you. Can't recommend it enough. I would say it's perfect to read in October because it's got that paranormal vibe, but it's not spooky at all. It's just got like the ghost thing going on with it. So if you love Jane Eyre and you're looking for a very different spin on it, I would highly recommend this book. The next book I got in my uppercase box, that is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. This is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling. That's basically all I need to tell you about it. This is also like the first book, also like My Plain Jane. It's kind of a sequel or a spin-off or a companion novel to her first book, Uprooted, so it's not necessarily that you read Uprooted before you read this one, and I should know because I'm planning to read this month, and I have not yet read Uprooted. So either way, I'm hoping to really enjoy this one. I've never ever read a book about a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, so I'm very interested in that. I hope it's going to be dark and fantastical. Probably the perfect book to read in October, but like I said, Let's Admit it's grown so much in October, it's ridiculous, so must read it now. I got in my Cozy Reader Club box The Intermission by Alicia Freeland. I love this cover, by the way, everything about it. It's about a couple that have been married for 5 years, and they're kind of having a lull and a lot of secrets that they keep from their spouses, and so they decide to do like a little trial separation, I think, or just like a little, it says intermission, a 6-month separation during which they'll decide if the comfortable life they've built is still the one they both want. I am interested in this one, but I'm so nervous. I read so many books that have marriages in them and then infidelity happens and then I just hate the book so much after that, and I just can't fathom liking it again. And I hope this book will not do that. I really hope not, because it sounds interesting. I don't love that they're gonna have a little intermission, but every marriage is different. I have to realize that. So I am interested in reading this, and I want to read it soon. I'm just so nervous. The next book is from Fairy Loot, and that is Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart. Look at this cover. I love this cover, even on the inside. It's beautiful. This is about two sisters who are very, very different. One like kind of grows up secluded on this island, and the other one gets like to be a like princess, and they come together, and it's a world where women have no rights, and I think the sisters finally team up and just fight together, which I'm all about that. So interested in this one. It's a very, very short fantasy book. I don't know if it's standalone or it's gonna be the first part of the series. We shall have to see, but either way, the cover is beautiful. The last three books I have for book boxes are from Book of the Month. So the three books I picked for July. The first one is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I have already read this and reviewed it. It starts off in the past, like 15 years prior to our current timeline, where our main character goes to like a camp, and she gets assigned to a cabin with three older girls, and they become friends, and then all three of those girls disappear, leaving our main character alone. Flash forward to now, 15 years later, our main character is still shaken up about this disappearance of her three cabin mates, and she doesn't know what happened to them. No one does. So when the camp decides to reopen and she gets invited to go back to the camp to be a counselor, she goes because she wants to solve their disappearance, to figure out where they have gone, if somebody's killed them, and things like that. Overall, I did really like this. I didn't like it as much as Final Girls, but it was very atmospheric, where we had this camp where everything's supposed to go all hunky-dory, and there's really deep, dark secrets in the night, and I enjoyed it. I think it's a great summer thriller for sure. So if you like Riley Sager and you liked Final Girls, I would check this one out. I also picked up Ghosted by Rosie Walsh. I'm planning to read this in August as well. This is, I did not know there was a term for when you're talking to somebody and then they just don't even talk to you anymore. That apparently is called ghosted. Main character named Sarah, and Sarah meets Eddie, and they fall in love instantaneously, and everything's going well, and then Eddie is going on vacation. He's like, I'll call you from the airport, and I'll call you, and then Eddie never calls. Sarah immediately thinks something is wrong because Eddie has not called her. She knows something's up, and all of her friends are like, no, he just ghosted you. And she's like, no, something is going on. So she decides to go investigate. And this book is kind of like part romance, part mystery. I'm intrigued for that matter, and I definitely want to read this soon. The reviews have been kind of up and down about this book, so time will tell, but I'm very, very interested in it. The last book I got from Book of the Month is the Summerwise by Beatrice Williams. This is another historical fiction novel. This takes place in 1951, where we have our main character Miranda arrives on this island called Winthrop Island. Goodness gracious, sounds so fancy. And I think this book is kind of like a mystery, like a historical mystery or something about this island and things like that. I don't know much about it, but it flash forwards, I know, to 1969, where she returns to the Winthrop Island where something has happened. And yeah, I think something has happened. I don't know much about it. I don't want to know because I've been getting into historical fiction lately, and I just want to kind of go into this blind and see what it's all about, like when I actually get into the book. So I'm sorry I did not explain that to you right. I will leave the link for it down below. Now, moving on to the books I got from publishers. There's a lot. I just want to preface you with that. And I'm super grateful for every book I get from publishers. Like, you guys have no clue how excited I get about some of these books. So I'm super grateful for them. The first two books are from Gallery Books, and the first one I'm very, very excited for, and that is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren is actually two authors, Christina and Lauren. They combined their names for to like write together, and she's an adult chick-lit author. And the past two books they have released I have loved, Roomies and then Love in Other Words. I really enjoy them both, so I'm really loving their books lately. This is about Josh and Hazel, who have been friends ever since college, and I think they decide to kind of like date but not each other, because setting up each other on progressively terrible double blind dates so they can hang out with each other means there's nothing between them, right? So obviously this is going to be a friends to lovers thing, and I am here for it. I've heard that the main character Hazel is very quirky, like she's kind of like Jess from New Girl, so I'm really interested in reading about that. So I'm just looking for a great, cute, fun time with this book. Speaking of a great, cute, fun time, I have Life on the Leash by Victoria Shade. About a woman named Cora who runs her own dog training business, and she loves her life, she loves the dogs and what she does, and then she meets a guy named Charlie who is the hottest client she has ever had. But the only problem is that he is taken. So obviously something's gonna happen. I don't expect much from this book, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm expecting cute dogs, cute romances, just cute and etc. Which sometimes in the summer is exactly what I need. So super excited for it. Hope it's gonna be a cute time. I have All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover. I don't know how I'm gonna say this without getting a lot of hate comments. I've fallen out of love with Colleen Hoover books. If I'm honest with you, I don't think I was ever really in love with her books. I've only read about 3 or 4 of them, and all the ones that I've read I've liked. I haven't loved. I'm not a huge fan of her writing style or her plots. I think my favorite of hers was November 9, I think. I don't know. Like I said, it's been kind of a while since I read her books. So I'm like excited for this one, but kind of apprehensive. I may be the only one that feels that way by Colleen Hoover because everyone else seems to love her. I just don't. I'm sorry, don't hate me, please. This is about, it says, can a love story with a perfect beginning survive a lifetime between 2 imperfect people? So I think this takes place in 2 timelines. We have Quinn and Graham, who are in a perfect relationship, and now 7 years later, their perfect love is threatened by their imperfect marriage. Yep, I have from Berkeley Books, Good Luck with That by Christina Higgins. This is kind of a chick litty book about 3 friends who have been best friends forever, and then one of them tragically passes away, and the girl that passes away decides that she has one final wish for each of her friends, is to conquer the fears they still carry as adults. And basically that book is about that, about picking up pieces after someone so close in your life passes away and things like that. I'm planning to read this in August as well, so I'm hoping to really enjoy it. But it sounds like it's going to be a book about friendship and love and really hard things, but so amazing. Next book I got from Disney Books, and that is Hocus Pocus and the all-new sequel. So look at this beautiful, beautiful book. This book is 2 books in one. We have the first half is the movie version. The second half of the book takes place 25 years later. We have Max and Allison's 17-year-old daughter Poppy is obviously dealing with Hocus Pocus and maybe the Sanderson sisters or something like that. I mean, who doesn't love Hocus Pocus? I know I watch it every October, probably multiple times. It's a near and dear thing to my heart. I think they're making a sequel movie as well, or a retelling, or maybe just a revival of it. I don't know how I feel about that, but books, you know, I'm here for it. Disney sent me like this awesome package that had like a mug and cookies and shirt, and I'm just like, I want to watch Hocus Pocus like now. That's acceptable, right? Either way, I'm definitely going to be reading this in October because I'm reading everything in October apparently. 4 books were sent to me by Penguin Teen. Excited for all of them. The first one is Sea Fire by Natalie C. Parker. This comes out in August, and I don't know much about this book. Basically, this says, on the back of the sea, who do we trust? Our sisters. When our ship falters, who do we trust? Who do we trust? Our sisters. In a storm of bullets, who do we trust? Our sisters. We fight together or not at all. It sounds like woman pirates. Sounds amazing. I'm here for it. Super excited. I have Wild Card by Marie Lu. This is the sequel to Warcross by Marie Lu, which came out last year, which I really, really enjoyed. So I'm super excited to read this one. Warcross was basically about like, how do I explain it? It's kind of like a game, like an online game that you can participate in, or like virtual reality world, and a girl gets stuck in it and she becomes like a hacker and things happen. It's just a fun, vivid type of book, I guess I could describe it as. I'm expecting a fun time out of this, not expecting like a ton of depth, but it's gonna be a good time. Then I have Undead Girl Gang by Lily Anderson. This is about a girl that like brings her friend back from the dead, I think, and then she actually raises like a whole bunch of people from the dead, I think. I'm not sure about this book. Everyone loves it. Maybe I'll read in October. No, I'm reading too many books in October. I will read this eventually. Maybe October, maybe not. I mean, the cover is amazing. Sent me is The Smoke Thieves by Sally Green, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I know 0 things about this book. I don't know, it's a very lengthy one, goodness gracious. Yeah, like over 500 pages, so I don't know when I'll get to this one. As all of these books, I want to get to them all right now, but time. From Flatiron Books, The Dinner List. This is an adult book, and you ever hear the scenarios where if you could have dinner with 5 people, dead or alive, who would you have dinner with? And you're like, oh, you know, Princess Diana, so-and-so, so-and-so. This is about a girl that has her 30th birthday, and, you know, she gets asked that question, and then she wakes up one day, and the 5 people that she wants to have dinner with, dead or alive, are at her house expecting dinner. Like her best friend who has passed away. I think we have Audrey Hepburn, 3 significant people from her past. So yeah, this is gonna be like a quirky book, but I think it's gonna be full of depth. We'll see, but I really am interested in it because it sounds like it's just fun and interesting. So, I mean, who would have thought that, you know, when you think about the 5 people you have dinner with would be made into a book? Here's that book. I have 3 books from Simon & Schuster. They're all contemporary, so forgive me. I'm going quickly because I know this is a very long video. The first one I have is Letting Go of Gravity by Meg Letter. Twins, Parker and Charlie, who are polar opposites, and one of them gets leukemia. Basically, Charlie gets leukemia and Parker didn't. And now Charlie's in remission and she is, you know, taking chances and doing things, and Parker's kind of feeling left out, kind of doesn't know what to do. So it's about 2 twins who are very different but the same almost. And it sounds like it's going to be a heartbreaking and beautiful book. Some of my favorite ones to read, but I feel like I always have to gear myself up for these type of books. I have Learning to Breathe by Janice Lynn Mather. Look at this beautiful cover. This is about our main character, Doubles, who came to Nassau. I've been looking for a safe place to call home, just a way to breathe. But everyone writes her off, and it's about her trying to get people to see the real her, which is always amazing to read about because you have to fight sometimes people have to fight to show their true colors. So this sounds amazing. Can't wait to check it out. And the last one is the last one is Your Destination is on the Left by Lauren Spieler. I love this cover. This book I don't know anything about. It's about Dessa, who is a modern day nomad. Her family travels in an RV. That's all I want to know about it. Let's just leave it at that. Either way, I think it's about, oh, it says perfect for fans of Sarah Dessen and Morgan Matson. Well, sign me up. A couple of Darkest Mind books from Disney, and the first one is the movie tie-in edition of The Darkest Minds by Alexander Bracken, which I've read years ago. This has posters on it from the movie and things like that. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know if I'll see the movie in theaters, but I'm interested in it. Like, I want to see it eventually, but I'm not like rushing because there's been so many book to movie adaptations lately that have been like, so I don't know. Like, I'm excited it's gonna be a movie, but my love has really faded for this book series because I first read it a long time ago. Darkest Legacy by Alexander Bracken, which is a spin-off series to The Darkest Minds, and this book we follow Zoo, who is a really big part of the first book, The Darkest Minds. So I'm interested in this. I don't know if I'll read it because, like I said, I've kind of just fallen out of love with The Darkest Minds, and honestly, I've fallen out of love with a lot of the books that I first started reading on BookTube a while ago, so we'll have to see if I'm going to read it. I mean, I'm interested in it. I'm happy it's continuing. I just don't know how interested in it I am. I'm going to end with some awesome feminine books. The first couple I got from Quark Books. So I have Girl Squad by Sam Maggs, which is 20 female friendships that changed history. It'll be about, like it says, girl friendships. I'm here for it. I love that. The other one they sent me is Girls Resist, and this is a guide to activism, leadership, and starting a revolution. So this is chock full of amazing things and stuff to do. It even has some stickers in it, which I'm super excited about. So I'm all about girls rising up. And the other one I got, I think I got this from, I don't know who I got this from, but it is Rad Girls Can, and this is by Kate Schatz and Miriam Kiel-Stahl, and this is stories of bold, brave, and brilliant young women. So this might be like kind of nonfiction about real life women. Oh, look at this. How stunning is this? Rad girls can act, learn, create, play, win. It's all these things that women can do, and we can do all of it. So this is full of about real women and how they've affected and changed the world, and they're bold and brave and brilliant. So I am all for that. Are you tired yet? I'm tired. Those are all the books I either bought or received in July. It's a lot. Sorry if I went through them quickly, or I'm sorry if I didn't explain them a lot in detail. I don't want to keep you guys here forever. I don't want to talk forever because I know how boring and horrible I can sound. So yeah, I apologize, like I said, if I didn't talk about any of these in super detail. All the links for each one of these books are down below. If you want to learn more about them, click the link and it'll take you to, you know, learning about the book. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.